Hello and welcome to Cinema of Blood. My name is John, and today 50 Years of Horror Movies continues. We are past the 2000s. Well, not past the 2000s. We are past the year 2000, and we're going to be talking about 5 movies today. Today we're going to be talking about 5 movies from the year 2001. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get underway. Alright, so the first one I'm going to talk about is, it's a werewolf movie, but it's got just a little bit of a twist or a bit of a difference to it, and I don't want to say anything more to spoil it. But this is the film Brotherhood of the Wolf. Alright, now this is a French-made film, originally a French film, and if I'm pronouncing it right, is Le Pacte des Loups. Alright, or the Brotherhood of the Wolf, as it kind of translates. Anyway, this is directed by Christopher Gaume. And if I'm pronouncing their names wrong, I'm terrible at French. I'm trying, okay? The original scenario is by Stéphane Cabel. The adaptation is by Christophe Gaume. It stars Samuel Le Bihan, Jérémy Renier, Vincent Cassel, Marc Dacascos, and Monica Bellucci. Alright, so what it's about is about these two, I guess you could call them investigators, played by Samuel Le Bihan and Marc Dacascos. Dacascos is a Native American, and he is Le Bihan's assistant, and he is very skilled in like martial arts and things like that. So there are a lot of scenes in here where you have these guys wearing these Revolutionary War style costumes, and this takes place, I believe, during the French Revolution. But you got them wearing those kind of costumes, and you got a lot of flowing coats and everything because all the fight scenes. It's really interesting. This movie is kind of a hybrid of a lot of different movies, or a lot of different styles or genres. Anyway, they're investigating this series of deaths that takes place in this small town known as Gévaudan. Now, this is based on the story of the beast of Gévaudan, which is supposed to be this wolf-like or werewolf-like beast that killed over 100 people back in France a long, long time ago. Okay, so that's pretty much what the movie is about, is these two guys trying to figure out what's going on, and there's a lot of like intrigue and a lot of like there's a lot of political stuff in here because, like I said, the thing's taking place during the French Revolution, but the action scenes are fantastic. And I don't want to give away exactly what the beast is. I don't want to give that away. The performances in this are absolutely awesome. I love this movie. I watched this movie so many times. I haven't watched it in a long time. I need to watch it again. But yeah, if you're somebody that's into werewolf films and you like historical films, also, then I really think you would enjoy Brotherhood of the Wolf. Alright, so moving on. Alright, so next one. Yeah, okay. Alright, so the next one I'm going to talk about is Jeepers Creepers. Alright. Okay, now, and I don't know if you guys know about the whole controversy with the writer and director of Jeepers Creepers, Victor Salva. But if you go onto the Florida, and I can't remember what the other state is, but if you go onto the Florida sex offender registry, you're going to see his name there. Alright, it took me a long time to watch this movie because I did not want to lend support to this person. I was finally able to see this movie at a really cheap price, so I went ahead and did it. I enjoyed the movie. I love the movie. Jeepers Creepers. Alright, first of all, it is written and directed by Victor Salva. Alright, get his name out of the way so he can just go away. It stars Justin Long and Gina Phillips, and they're pretty much the only 2 stars of the movie other than the guy playing the Creeper, which is played by Jonathan Breck. But what this is about is you got this brother and sister, and they're traveling, alright, and all of a sudden they start getting chased by this big, ugly truck. Alright, I mean, this thing, it looks like, you ever heard the expression the Black Mariah, which was one of those old police cars that would carry you with the paddy wagon, as they called it, or whatever? That's what this thing looks like, except it's kind of rusty and everything, but it's fast. All right, and the reason they were being chased is because they saw the driver of this vehicle throw a body down a pipe. All right, so now as the movie progresses, you figure out that this driver of this vehicle is the creeper, and he is far from human. And the reason he is chasing is because he is cannibalistic and he eats the parts of you that he needs. So in other words, if he needs lungs, he's going to eat your lungs. If he needs an arm, he's going to eat your arm, your head, whatever. He's going to eat it. That is how he keeps surviving. All right. So these two, Derry and Trish, their brother and sister, they are on the run from this thing because this creature, this creeper, wants one of them for some horrible reason. What part of the body it wants, they don't know. Now, if you watch the movie, you'll see there's like little clues throughout the movie. All right, I mean, just think of the title, Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers. Think about that. So they'll kind of give you an idea of what the creeper is after. Okay, so that is Jeepers Creepers. All right, so there you go. Okay, next up, and now this one here, oh my gosh, this is a slow burn of a movie, but it is so effectively spooky. This is The Others. All right, and this is written and directed by Alejandro Amenabar. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. It stars Nicole Kidman, Christopher Eccleston, and Fionnuala Flanagan. All right. So Nicole Kidman is staying in this house with her two children. Now, her two children are photosensitive. In other words, light bugs them, so they have to keep the whole house dark. All right. Okay, so Nicole's husband, played by Christopher Eccleston, he's gone off to war. And if I remember correctly, he's killed. But anyway, she's living in this house with these two children, have this weird affliction. And then next thing you know, they start to realize that they're not quite alone. There's a presence in the house, living there with them. And that's really all I want to say about this movie, because, like I said, there's a twist to this movie. Now, is it a Shyamalan-esque twist? I'm trying to say that right. Or is it a Hitchcockian twist? I'm not going to say. But there is a twist, and if you haven't seen this movie, don't let people spoil it for you. Because just watch this movie and enjoy this movie. Anyway, that is The Others. Okay? All right. All right, so the next one I'm going to talk about is the one that I am probably the least familiar with, because I'm going to be talking about the Japanese, original Japanese version of this film. I saw the remake with Kristen Bell. I thought the story was great, but and I'm not saying she's a bad actress, but there were so many times when she acted scared, she would be like, "Oh God," like that and everything, and you're just like, okay, this gets kind of annoying. But anyway, this is Pulse. All right, and again, I'm going to try to not butcher anybody's name. This is written and directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, and I'm not sure if he's any relation to the famous Japanese director Akira Kurosawa. I have to look that up. It stars Haruhiko Keto, Kumiko Aso, and Koyuki. All right. So what it's about is you got this group of people, and they've kind of basically figured out that there are ghosts, and these ghosts are trying to make their way into our dimension or our world or whatever via the internet, via the internet. All right. So that's really the best way for me to describe this movie. I mean, there's some really weird scenes where, now in the remake, and I'm pretty sure, I think the original had this too, but there's some weird scenes, some people, when they disappeared, they kind of are like this black spot on the wall. If I remember correctly, the same scene with this jet airliner, crashing. And I think it's because the ghost got through to whatever internet or whatever they have on board the plane and disrupted everything. That's on there. But it's a really strange horror movie. All right, of course the Japanese, and this is definitely not me putting them down. They've really made some absolutely strange horror films. I mean, you know, like Pulse, The Ring, was it Shudder, and other films like that. They have a very unique way with their horror, you know. So anyway, for better or for worse, as far as my description goes, that is Pulse. All right. And finally, we come to session 9. And this is directed by Brad Anderson. It is written by Brad Anderson and Stephen Gevedon, or Gevedon. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Sounds like Gevedon, like the creature from the first movie we talked about, Brotherhood of the Wolf. Anyway, this stars David Caruso, Stephen Gevedon, and Paul Guilfoyle. So you got 2 people from 2 separate CSI shows starring in this. Of course, you got David Caruso from CSI Miami, and then you got Paul Guilfoyle from the first and the original CSI. All right. So what it's about is you got this group of guys. They're workers, and they have been hired to remove the asbestos from this abandoned sanitarium, or is it sanatorium? In other words, a place where they would put, you know, mentally ill or insane people, you know, and I don't mean to shame anybody or anything like that. That's what they called them back then, insane. But anyway, you know, that's a house for them, like, you know, a place for them. All right, so they're doing this, you know, all these kind of weird things start to happen, and they find these tapes, and like they're all marked, session 1, session 2, session 3, and of course session 9. And that also leads to a lot of weird stuff. Again, this is one of those movies that has kind of a twist ending. It's one of these movies that when you watch it, you've got to pay attention to the movie, because if you don't, you're going to miss something, and you're just going to be like, what is going on? And I think even when you are watching this and watching it, you know, intently, you're still going to sit there and wonder, wait a minute, what is going on? So it's movies like this that I think that a lot of YouTube channels that explain films have popped up over the years, because this is one of those where you're just like, you got to have somebody almost go through it with you. But it is an excellent horror film, all right? And it's a psychological horror movie. Of course, the director Brad Anderson also did The Machinist with Christian Bale. That's just a wow of a movie right there. And he's done other stuff too. I think he did one called Trans-Siberian as well. And he's had some misses as well, but for the most part, he's done pretty good as far as, you know, hit, you know, with his style of movies. Anyway, that's going to do it. That is 5 horror movies from the year 2001. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, take care and stay scared. Bye-bye.